is taking for recording. Yeah. Okay. So in the last classes, we have done with SQL. We have started with SQL, and we have seen so much what is data, what are the characteristics of SQL, and we have seen what is data definition language, what is data manipulation language, what is view definition, what is data control language, what is data types in SQL. Yeah, so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have seen so many data types, how they are, what is a format. We have seen all these in the last classes, and we have seen the syntax of the create table also. Then we have seen about the constraints, that is not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, check, and default. So then we have seen about the constraints. So what are the constraints available? So we have seen not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, check constraint. As well as we have seen one small example for a create table. So then we have seen about the operator in SQL, arithmetic operator, relational operator, and logical operator. Then what is data modification in the SQL? We have seen about insert. So what we have to do in the insert statement. Then it's in the insert statement, this is what the insert is, and the values are also is here. So then one more way of insert, we have just seen this is one more way of the insert. So then the student table, this is the student table, and SQL command, that is query, select, selection, and projection. So then how is a SQL? So SQL in a select statement, you can directly use a star where you can take from a complete table, or you can take a, which rows you want those many. And this you can take it name class from the student. That's what here the select command is being done. So next is we have seen about a count, how to use a arithmetic operator in the select, as well as we have seen about a select and the marks. Then the marks star 100 where the roll number is greater than this one. So that's what is called as a select. So then eliminate duplicates. So what is how do we eliminate the duplicates? We don't want the values. That is what the distinct is. So eliminating duplicates, select distinct. So if you have redundant values, then you can remove them by using a keyword called as a distinct. So then we have something called as a condition based on the range between. So what is this between is being done? Select roll number name from student where roll number between what is our range we want from 100 to 103. So that's what we have seen about a between. So in the same way, condition based on the list. So we have seen about select star from student where city in. So Bangalore, Delhi, and Chennai. This is what we can see in the list. So then condition based on the percentage, that is percent, then the underscore. So that's what you can see here, percent and the underscore thing. So then we have seen about a condition based on the pattern. So what is the pattern here? So I want to start first letter should be 1 and the last letter should be 3, and in between I may have anything. That's what is called as a condition based on the pattern. So then order by clause. So the order by clause, whether I want to order my table in the ascending or descending order. So then that's what here select star from student, order by city, description. Either I can describe, do a ascending or descending order. So then the group by clause. So how do we group the clause? Based on some columns we group the clause. So the same way we can just take an example. How do we group select name count as number of employees from student where marks greater than 350 group by city. So that's what here group by clause is. Then having clause. So the having clause. So we will say that will be followed by group by, and this is a having clause. So then what is this having clause? Select some marks, total marks, department from a student group by department number having some marks greater than 1000. That's what here having clause. So then we have seen about the functions, mathematical function, string function, and a date and a time function. So we have seen all these. I'll just skip all these which we have seen in the last classes. And we have seen about a delete command also, how to delete the values from the table. So then we want to update something, then we are using a update table. So then update student set marks equals to marks plus 20 and the city. So then the create a view. So how do we create a view? We create a view uh, for it is not physically present, but we take which the table is already present, from that we are taking that. That's what is called as a view. So then create a view. So creating a view for this particular thing, select. So in the same way, create view command. So then table and a view. So what is a table? So table can be what is the difference between table and a view? Table is a repository of data and view is a database physical representation. It is created as on a table or another view. It is pre-compiled so that the data retrieval becomes faster and also provides a secure accessibility mechanism. Then what is a alter table command? So if I want to add a column or I want to delete a column, then we use a alter table command. So then what is this alter table command? That's what alter table student add address and varchar. So that's what here select star from student. That's what is alter table. So then here student. So this is what the address is. One more column we have added, but if I want to add the values to this, then we use a update command. So then alter table command removing a column. So if I want to drop a particular thing, then we have seen a drop column. So then we are seeing, then if you want to delete complete table, then we use a command called as a drop table. So then we have seen about a referential integrity constraints. If I delete one primary key and if I have a reference key, then what I have to do? That's what is a referential integrity option says to us. Then we have seen about a relational database schema. This is what the relational database schema is, and this is what the data values are. And we have a simple SQL query. That is what a simple SQL query, where we are using only a particular table. Where in this particular table only one table, that is a employee, and we are taking what is the name of the what is the first name, what is the middle name, and what is the last name of the particular employee, and we have combined select project operations. Then we are using one more SQL query, that is select first name, last name, address from the employee, a department, where D name equal to research and department number equals to D number. Similar to select project join sequence of relational algebra operators. That's what here select project and join is being used. Then here in this case, select project select T number, D number, last name, birth date, address from project, department, employee, where D number equals to D number and manager SSN is equal to SSN and P location equal to Stanford. So that's what here we can see about all this. This is what is a simple query. Then we have seen about the alias. Alias means giving some other name, and we can use a star and what is a distinct and where the empty where clause is. So in the SQL, we can use the same name for two or more attributes, as long as the attributes are in a different relation. A query that refers to two or more attributes with the same name must qualify the attribute name with the relation name by prefixing the relation name to the attribute name. That is employee, last name, department, D name. Then what is this alias? Some queries need to refer to the same relation twice. In this case, aliases are given to the relation name. So that's what here you can see we are giving another name for the alias. That is, you can see your employee is been having having two copies. One is with E and one is with S. And we are selecting this first name, last name from the employee table, from employee copy, and the social security number and first name and social security number of the last name is being taken from the employees, where super SSN is equal to social security number of the particular thing. In the same way, either we can use as alias or as. Aliasing can also be used in any SQL query for convenience. Can also use the as keyword to specify alias. Select first name, that is employee's first name, employee's last name, social security number, of first name, social security number of the last name, from employee as E, employee as S, where super SSN and SSN. So this is what here you can see as. So that's what here the alias is. So unspecified where clause, retrieve SSN value for all employees. So that's what here you can see. I want to retrieve all the employees. Select SSN from the employee. Select S name, D name from employee and the department. It is extremely important while specifying any selection and join condition in the where clause. Otherwise, incorrect and very large relation may be resulting. So use of star to retrieve all the attribute values of a selected tuples. The star is used, which stands for all the attributes. Select star from employee where D number equals to 5. Select star from employee department where D name equal to research and D number equals to D number. So that's what here star is. Use of distinct. So if I want to use a distinct, then SQL does not treat a relation as a set. Duplicate tuples can appear. To eliminate duplicate tuples in a query result, the keyword distinct. So the keyword distinct, you can see here in this case, first query, what it will do is select salary from the employee. So the salary of all the employees will get, but maybe 3 employees will be having same salary, 30,000, 30,000. Then it will be repeated again. So I don't want that to repeat, then you can use a distinct. Select distinct salary from the employee. So that's what a distinct will be doing. So then the set operation, SQL has directly incorporated some set operations. There is a union operation, that is union, and in some version of SQL, there are set differences, that is minus and intersect operation. The resulting relation of these set operations are set of tuples, that is duplicate tuples are eliminated from the result. That is what a set operation is. So in the set operation, we have in the relational algebra also we have seen about union, minus and intersection. The same way even in the set operation. The set operation apply only to union compactable relation. The two relation must have the same attribute and the attribute must appear in the same order. So that is what is a set operation. So then the set operations conclude to make a list of all project numbers for projects that involve an employee whose last name is Smith as a worker or as a manager of the department that controls the project. So that's what here set operation. Select P name from project, department, employee where D number equals to D number and manager SSN is equal to SSN and the last name equal to Smith. And the union select. So what we are doing is we are using a union operator because to just know how the union is working. So first this project name will be selected where the project we are combining. We're taking from 3 tables, that is project, works on and employee where P number equals to P number and SSN is equal to SSN and the name is Smith. So that's what here you can see the union of these two set operations. So the nesting of queries, a complete set query called a nested query can be specified within the where clause of another query called the outer query. Many of the previous queries can be specified in any alternative form using the nesting. So query 1, retrieve the name and address of all the employees who work for the research department. Select first name, last name, address from the employee where D number in, select D number from department where D name equal to research. So that's what here nesting of queries. And the first, the inner query. So this is what the inner query is. What the inner query will be done, retrieve the name and the address of all the employees who work for a research department. So that's what here you can see for the research department who is working. This is what is called as the inner query and is also, we are also calling it as a nested query. So nested query means what we in your programming language we see as if within one more if, then we call nested if. In the same way, it can be while within one more while or for within one more for, like that we call, then it is called as a nesting. So in that case, we call this as a nesting and this SQL with one more SQL. That is what is called as a nesting of queries. The nesting of queries, the nested query select the number of research department. The outer query selects an employee tuple if it is D number value is in the result of their nested query. The comparison operator in compares a value V with a set or a multi-set of values V and evaluates to true if V is one of the element in V. In general, we can have several levels of nested queries. A reference to an unqualified attribute refers to the relation declared in the innermost nested query. In this example, the nested query is not correlated with the outer query. That is what is called as a nesting of a query. Next is correlated nested query. So correlated means what? Same way as the nested query. So what we have done here is, here the in is used, and this particular inner query, that is outer query and the inner query. The inner query will be executed first, later the outer query will be executed. So in the same way, continue and see one more example where, so this has been done in the two inner thing. The same thing can be done with a single select from clause. So we can see here, select first name, last name from the employee from employee department, where social security number and department social security number and first name and dependent name. So this is what is a queries. So then the project retrieve the names of each employee who works on all the projects controlled by department number 5. So select first name, last name from employee, where select project number from works on, where SSN is equal to ESN. Then contains select P number from project, where D number equals to 5. So this is an example for this particular thing. So in the same way, correlated nested queries. In question 3, the second nested query, which is not correlated with other outer query, retrieve the project number of all the projects controlled by department 5. The first nested query, which is correlated, retrieve the project number on which the employee works, which is different for each employee tuple because of the correlation. So that is what is called as a correlated nested queries. Exist is used to check whether the result of the correlated nested query is empty or some values are there, whether it is empty or not empty. So then you can see, retrieve the names of each employee who has a dependent with the same first name as the employee. That is what select first name, last name from employee, where exist select star from dependent, where social security number and first name equal to dependent name. That is what is called as a exists. Then retrieve the names of the employees who have no dependents. That is select first name, last name from the employee, where not exist, select star from dependent, where SSN is equal to ESSN. So that is what is a existence. So it is also possible to use an existing or enumerated set of values in the where clause rather than a nested query. So retrieve, so what we do here, instead of retrieving each thing, same way how we use an enumerated data type, here select distinct. Distinct means what? Duplicates will be removed. So then what I want to fetch? We want to fetch a social security number of a person from works on, where project number equals to 1, 2, 3. The people who are working for project 1, 2 and 3, their social security number is required. From select distinct social security number from works on, where project number in 1, 2, 3. That's what is a explicit set. In the same way, nulls in SQL query. SQL allows queries that check if a value is null or missing or undefined or not applicable. So that is a null says to us. SQL uses is or is or not is to compare null, because it considers each null value distinct from other null values. So equality comparison is not appropriate. Retrieve the names of all employees who do not have supervisor. So then select first name, last name from employee where super SSN is null. If a join condition is specified, tuples with null values for join attributes are not included in the result. That is what a null is. So joined relation feature can specify a joined relation in the from clause. Looks like any other relation but is the result of a join. Allows the user to specify different types of joins. That is theta join. You can join. So what we have seen in the relational algebra, we have seen so many joins. Same way, all these joins can also be used in a SQL where theta join, natural join, left outer join, right outer join, and a cross join, etc. Then, so we have features, something like we can write select first name, last name from the employee table where SSN, so super security number of S and first name and the last name from the employee S where super SSN is equal to SSN. So that's what is the select is. Then you can also say select first name, last name of the employee and social security number of the first name and social security number of the last name from employee left outer join employees on super SSN is equal to SSN. That is what is a joint relation features. In the same way, so what we can do, select first name, last name, address from the employee department where department name equal to research and D number equals to D number. So this is how we can use a joint relation. So in the same way, select first name, last name, address from employee, join, department on D number equals to D number where department name equal to research. So we can write like this also, or we can write like this also, or we can write something like this: first name, last name, address, and employee from which table? From employee, natural join department table as department name, number, manager social security number where department name equals to research. So that's what here we can do this join in all these three ways. So in the same way, joined relation feature. Another example could be written as follows. So this illustrates multiple joins in the join table. Select P number, D number, last name, birth date, address from project, join department on D number equals to D number, join employee table on manager social security number where the location is Stanford. We can write like this also. So now we move on how to use the aggregate functions. So what is the aggregate function? Aggregate functions are count. I want to count how many people have written the first internals and who were absent. Then I can use a built-in function count. And one more I can use sum. So I want to calculate the sum of those things. The sum of all your marks, T1 marks, T2 marks, T3 marks, then we use a sum. Then we can use a max function. I want to know what is the maximum of the value, or I can see what is the minimum of the value, or I can see what is the average. So that's what here, find the maximum salary, minimum salary and the average salary among all the employees. Then select maximum salary, minimum salary, average salary from employee table. So that's what here you can see, select maximum salary, minimum salary and average salary from the employee. Some SQL implementation may not allow more than one function in the select clause. That is what the aggregate function says to us. The aggregate function says count, sum, max, min and average. So that's what here aggregate function. So how did we use? So I want to know what is the maximum salary of the employee, or I want to know who is getting less a salary, that is minimum salary. In the same way, I want to know what is the average salary from the employee. So that is what is called as an aggregate function. So then what is the aggregate function? Continue, find the maximum salary, minimum salary and the average salary among the employees who works for the research department. Select maximum salary, minimum salary, average salary from employee department. We can use from an employee, from a department where, so what is these two? These two are joining condition. That is where D number equals to D number and D name equal to research. That's what is called as a aggregate function. And this is how we use a aggregate function, select max salary, minimum salary, average from the employee. And how do we do? That is what the aggregate is. Same way, I want to use a count function. So how to use a count function, or I want to know how many employees are working in BMSIT college. Then what we do, select count star what it represents, it represents all values. That is what star from employee. So that's what here, select count star from employee. The same way, select count star from employee department, where D number equals to D number and D name equal to research. So that's what here the aggregate function is being done. So in the same way, next we move on the subqueries. So using the subqueries to solve a problem. Who has a salary greater than John's? So which employees have a salary greater than John's salary? Subquery, what is a John and the salary? Subqueries, select list from table where expression and the operator. And this is what the inner query is. The subquery, the inner query executes once before the main query. The result of the subquery is used by the main query, that is a outer query. So a subquery is a select statement that is embedded. A subquery is a select statement that is embedded in a clause of another select statement. You can build powerful statements out of simple ones by using the subqueries. They can be very useful when you need to select rows from a table with a condition that depends on the data in the data itself. You can place the subqueries in the number of SQL clause, where clause, having clause, and from clause. In the syntax, operator includes a comparison operator such as greater than, equal to, or in. So we can use any of these. So using in the subqueries, where clause, have clause, and from clause we can use. The subqueries is not means what with query within one more query, we are calling it as a subquery. Is often referred to as a nested. Just now we have seen nested. Same way, even it is also called as a nest select, or you can use a sub select, or even we call it with a inner select statement. The subquery generally executes first and its output is used to complete the query condition for the main or outer query. So that's what here the subquery is being done. So in the same way, let us use one more example. Select employee name from which table? From employee table, where I want the salaries of the employee, and those employee names we want. Before that, I want to know what is a salary. Select salary from the employee, where employee number is equal to this much. The employee number is this person. Employee should be some value that is greater than this. I want those particular names of the employee. So then we get something like this. So in the inner query determines the salary of the employees 7566. The outer query takes the result of the inner query and uses this result to display all the employees who earn more than this amount. That's what is using the subqueries. So guidelines for using the subqueries: enclose subqueries in the parenthesis, place subqueries on the right side of the comparison operator, do not add an order by clause to a subquery, use single row operator with single row subqueries, use multiple row operators with multiple row subqueries. So this is what is called as a guidelines for using the subqueries. Types of subqueries: single row subqueries, main query, that is subquery, return clerk, multiple row subqueries. So where you can use you may take two things, that is clerk and a manager, and multiple column subqueries, that is main query and the subqueries. You can take return what is a clerk salary and what is a manager salary, something like this. Also we can fetch multiple columns, multiple rows, and a single row also in the subqueries. So in the single row subqueries, return only one row. Single row subqueries returns only one row, use single row comparison operator, that is operator equal to, greater than equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. So we can use all these, that is equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. That is what is a single row subqueries is working. So in the same way, single row subquery is one that returns one row from the inner select statement. This type of subquery uses a single row operator. The slide gives a list of single row operator, display the employee whose job title is same as that of the employee, so much. So what we write, select employee name, job from employee, where job equals to select job from employee, where employee is equal to 7369. So that's what here, this is what here you will get it, employee name and what are the jobs. So executing a single subquery. So how do we execute a single subquery? We have seen. So now we see with the two things. Select employee name as well as a job. So I want to know what is employee name and the job from the employee, where job is equal to select job from employee, where employee number equals to 7369. So that is what is a clerk is. And salary greater than, select salary from employee, where employee number equals to 7876. So that's what here execute single row subqueries. So then using the group function in a subquery, select employee name, job and salary from employee, where salary is equal to select what is the minimum salary from that particular employee, and say take that, and what columns we want a employee name, job and a salary. So using the group by function in a subqueries. So having clause with the subqueries. The Oracle server executes subqueries first. The Oracle server returns results into the having clause of the main query. Select department number, minimum salary from employee, group by department number having minimum salary. Select minimum salary from employee, where department number equals to 200. That's what your 8 is. Having clause with the subqueries. Having clause with the subqueries, you can use subqueries not only in the where clause but also in the having clause. The Oracle server executes the subquery and results are returned into the having clause of the main query. The SQL statement on the slide displays all the departments that have a minimum salary greater than that of the department. That is department number 1030, and what is the minimum salary? 13 and 950. So find the job with the lowest average salary. Select job average salary from employee, group by job having average salary, and within that average salary we want a minimum and an average salary from the employee, group by job. So that is what is a having clause with the subqueries. So in the same way, multiple row subqueries return more than one rows. Use multiple row comparison operator, that is in, all, in, any and all. In operator is what? Equal to any member in the list. Any, compare value to each value returned by the subquery. All, compare all to every value returned by the subqueries. So this is how we can see with the multiple queries, multiple row subqueries. Let us take in small example, multiple row subqueries. Subqueries that returns more than one row are called multiple row subqueries. You use a multiple row operator instead of a single row operator with a multiple row subqueries. The multiple row operator expects one or more values, that is select ename, salary from a department number from employee, where salary in, select minimum salary from employee, group by department number. Here what we do, find the employees who earn the same salary as the minimum salary for the department. The inner query is executed first, producing a query resultant containing 3 rows, 800, 950 and 1300. The main query block is then processed and uses the value returned by the inner query to complete its search condition. In fact, the main query would look like the following two oracle. Select employee name, salary, department number from the employee where salary in 800, 950 and 1300. That's how we do with the multiple row subqueries. Then using any operator in a multiple row subqueries, so what we do, select employee number, e-name, job from employee where salary is less than anything. Select salary from employee where job is equal to clerk and job is not equal to clerk. So that's what you can see here, using any operator in multiple row subqueries. So then using all operators in multiple row subqueries, select employee number, name, job from employee where salary greater than all, select average salary from employee group by department number. So that's what here you can say, using all operator in multiple row subqueries. Let us see how we write. So write a query to display the employee names and hire. So these are the questions which were there in the question papers. So how do we write them? So write a query to display the employee names and hire data for all employees in the same department as Blake or execute Blake. So that's what here the query will be done. So in the same way, create a query to display the employee number and name for all employees who earn more than the average salary. Sort the result in ascending order by the salary. So what we have to do, these are the questions asked by you in the exams. So even these are the 3 more questions which were asked the same thing, where how to execute all this. So before we stop, let me summarize what we have done today. So we have started with queries. We have seen about what is the simple queries. What was the simple queries we have seen? So in the simple queries, we were using the employee table and select birth date, address from the employee where first name equal to John and middle name equal to B and the last name equal to Smith. And we have seen about the select first name, last name, address from the two tables, that is employee table and a department table, where department name equal to research and D number equals to D number. In this case, what we do, select project and join. So in the same way, select project number, D number, last name, birth date, address from project, department, employee where D number equals to D number and manager SSN is equal to SSN and location equal to Stanford. So that's what here you can see SQL queries, how we can write, where here in this case the join, we have used 2 join condition. One is D number and D number and one more is manager social security number is equal to manager. So here what is been done, that it is been used with the 2 join condition. So one more, alias star distinct. So either how to use alias. So alias means what? Other name. So how do we use alias? We keep employee table is been copied or duplicated with the 2 other names, that is E and S. That's what here we can see, and we are calling that table with the super SSN is equal to SSN. Then the aliasing can also be used in any SQL query for convenience. That is as. Can also use the as keyword to specify the alias. Select first name, employee name, first name from employee table, last name from the employee table, and so super security number first name and super security number last name from the employee as E, or that's what here you can see the duplicate of employee. Once we are calling it as a E and another time we are calling it as a S. So that's what is alias is. So then we have one more, that is a select one, where we were selecting a complete table. Then we have seen about how to use where we are not using any where clause. We are just using a select S name, D name from a employee and a department. And here if I want to use completely all the values, then we use a select star from employee where department number equal to 5. Then select star from employee department where D name equal to research and D number equals to D number. Using a distinct. So here we can see select salary from employee, select distinct salary from employee. That's what here you can see the salary and the distinct. Set operation. SQL has directly incorporated some set operation. There is a union operation, that is union, and in some version of SQL there are set difference, that is minus and intersection. The resulting relation of these set operations are set of tuples. Duplicate tuples are eliminated from the result. The set operations apply only to union compatible relation. The two relation must have the same attribute and the attribute must appear in the same order. So that's what we have seen about a set operation. Then we have something called, take one example with the set operation where we have used a union. So combining this relation with this relation and doing a union. So then what did we do here? We have seen about a nesting of query. A query and within one more query, that is what is a first nesting query. So then a nesting of queries, the nested query selects the number of research department. The outer query selects the employee tuple if it is a D number value is in the result of either nested query. In comparison operator, we have seen we can use a in also. Then we have seen how to do a nested query. So here the is inner query will select as a social security number of the employee, and from that we are fetching out first name and last name of the employee. The same query can be written in with only one particular thing, that is select from and where. So here you can see here the same social security number of a employee table and department table is joined. This is one join condition, and one more join condition if the first name of the particular employee is same as a dependent name. So sometimes what we do is, if some people what they do, if the parents having S, they want to even start their kids name also S. So that's what here, this is what it says similarly like that. So one more thing, one more query. So we have seen what is the contains, what is the work of the contains in the nested query. Then we have seen about queries which exist function, and we have seen query with not exist, means not present. So then we have seen about a set. So here I want to combine project 1, project 2 and project 3 on the works on table. Then we have used a null in SQL query. Join relation, that is theta join, natural join, left outer join, right outer join and a cross join. This is what is a join relation will be done. So then the join relation feature. So this is what select from where. So first name of the employee, last name of the employee, social security of the employee and social security of the last name and the employee table, where this is what is being done. So this is what is called as a joint relation features. So in the same way, we can do a joint relation with the select part. Could be written as like this also, or can also be written like this. And we have seen about how to write a joining based on the join table, features of the join, where we are using a join keyword. So in the same way, we have used about an aggregate function, that is count maximum, minimum, average salary from the employee. The same way we have done with the function maximum salary of the employee, minimum, average from so many departments, from employee and a department, as well as we are just using a join, that is D number equals to D number and D name equals to D name. So this is what we have done, and we have started with the subqueries. and we have seen what is a subquery, how it is being done, guidelines for using a subqueries, and we have seen about types of the subqueries, whether it is a single row subquery, multiple row subqueries, multiple column subqueries. Then single row subqueries, that is equal to, greater than, equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. Then single subqueries we have seen, and executing the single row subqueries using group function in a subquery, having clause with the subqueries, then multiple row subqueries, then multiple row subqueries using any operator in multiple row subqueries, then multiple row subqueries. So that's what we have seen, and I'll stop here. We'll continue this in the next class. So before that, let me complete the attendance. Today is 16. Yesterday we're not having. Okay. Asta.
Present, ma'am.
Abhinav.
Present, ma'am.
Aishwarya.
Present, ma'am.
Amrish.
Yes, ma'am.
Anu.
Present, ma'am.
Arbaz. Arjun.
Present, ma'am.
Ashok.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Ayatappa.
Present.
Benita. Bhargavi.
Present, ma'am.
Bhavisha.
Present. Present, ma'am.
Chaitra.
Present, ma'am.
Devmalai.
Present, ma'am.
Diksha.
Present, ma'am.
Deepika.
Present, ma'am.
Deepika
Present,
M.
ma'am.
Murli Krishna. Gangubai.
Present, ma'am.
Gudia. Harshit.
Present, ma'am.
Junjar.
Present, ma'am.
Kavya.
Present, ma'am.
Kishore. Lata.
Yes, ma'am.
Manisha.
Present, ma'am.
Manjunath.
Yes, ma'am.
Nayana.
Present, ma'am.
Nilanjan. Nishant.
Present, ma'am.
Pavitra.
Present, ma'am.
Maithili.
Present, ma'am.
Priyanka.
Present, ma'am.
Pavan.
Present, ma'am.
Akash.
Present, ma'am.
Rajeshwari.
Present, ma'am.
Rakesh.
Present, ma'am.
Ramya.
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi.
Present, ma'am.
Ravi.
Yes, ma'am.
Rizwan.
Present, ma'am.
Vishal.
Present, ma'am.
Savita.
Yes, ma'am.
Shruti.
Present, ma'am.
Sneha.
Yes, ma'am.
Purti.
Present, ma'am.
Srinidhi.
Present, ma'am.
Srinivas.
Present, ma'am.
Sunil. Vaishnavi.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Vinny.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. So I have pasted quiz in the chat window. Please complete. I'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes. The people who have joined late, I'm pasting again. So you can complete the quiz. Complete the quiz. 1 or 2 minutes I'll wait. Then we'll close. And we'll meet again on Monday. Okay, so I'll stop here.